Naruto versus Ichigo. Death Battle by Death Battle.
The Holy Shounen Trinity, the Big Three. Any longtime reader of Shonen Jump will recognize these, some of the biggest titles in manga and anime history.
And it's time for two of those shonen heroes to throw down.
Naruto Uzumaki, ninja prodigy of the Hidden Leaf.
And Ichigo Kurosaki, the enormously powerful Soul Reaper from Bleach. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
I actually wanted to go into this specifically because I have a little bit of understanding on each of these characters, specifically the Naruto ones. I feel I have a little bit more to add, and this seemed like it'd be an interesting one, especially to go back in time and kind of see the evolution throughout the years.
Konoha, the village hidden in the leaves, is a pretty quiet town.
Not what I'd expect for a city full of ninja. Still, there was at least one troublemaker among the bunch. The #1 knucklehead ninja, Naruto Uzumaki.
I'm home, everyone! Naruto Uzumaki has returned to the Hidden Leaf Village!
Orphaned at a young age and ostracized by his peers, Naruto may have been mischievous, but he had great aspirations. His goal was to become the town's Hokage.
Which is a fancy word for ninja governor.
The only way Naruto could reach such a prestigious position was to excel in ninja school.
Like Ninja Harry Potter. Though he should really find a place that'll teach him not to dress like a clown and run like a real human being. What does he think he is, an airplane?
Actually, his posture likely decreases wind resistance, which could be beneficial when moving at superhuman speeds where angular momentum is a smaller factor.
Didn't this video was, as of reacting to this 7 years ago, this was before the Area 51 thing, wasn't it? Oh, this aged like a fine wine.
I remember when you ran like that in middle school.
Hey, that was for research.
Sure, Wiz. Anyway, while Naruto wasn't the best student, he still tried his hardest to reach his goal. But first, he'd have to learn how to control his chakra.
In Buddhism and Hinduism ideologies, chakras are, in simplistic terms, gates within the human body which can be opened to achieve enlightenment. But the ninja in Naruto's world had a slightly different interpretation.
I'll say, they weaponized it. Naruto can use chakra for all sorts of flashy attacks. He can heal himself, seal monsters away, walk up walls, or even stand on water like a ninja Jesus.
He's learned a number of chakra techniques, or jutsus,
Gesundheit.
and even developed a few new ones of his own.
Actual plot point.
His signature move is the Shadow Clone Jutsu.
Where he can copy and paste himself over and over and over again.
Unlike the standard clone technique, shadow clones are tangible with their own combat capabilities. By dividing his chakra between himself and his clones, it's nearly impossible to distinguish the real Naruto from the fakes.
And he can get pretty tricky when he makes thousands of them. But when strategies can't save the day, he can always just beat his opponents down with the Rasengan.
By spinning chakra in his hand, Naruto creates a compact ball of energy which can blast through solid stone. While the Rasengan usually takes years to learn, Naruto figured it out after training for just over a week.
He's invented more Rasengans than Willy Wonka's invented candies.
Yeah.
But his top pick is the Rasen Shuriken.
So the Rasengan, for all intents and purposes, it's supposed to be a parallel to the Bijudama. It's actually why Minato, his father, right, developed it. Using the Bijudama as a base, right? Thus, I think if I remember correctly, it's supposed to just be chakra, but then you can apply nature transformations to it. So Kakashi's Chidori was an attempt at the Rasengan, but applying lightning release to it. I actually really love the quote-unquote science that goes into Naruto. I also want to point out, because I'm actually just now noticing going through this. So we've had conversations before about Minato, the fourth Hokage, using Flying Raijin, right? Sure, it's one of those that, like, yeah, it's a S-tier space-time ninjutsu, right? Very, very potent. Except, like, Minato's kind of strange because it kind of worked for him because he kind of just said that thing right there and then just kind of did that thing really, really, really well. That's almost kind of like Naruto with the shadow clones. Like, sure, people use clones and stuff all the time, but Naruto's specialty being Kagebushin is very interesting, especially how far he can use that to scale up. So just kind of noticing a parallel between him and Minato, which is very interesting.
By combining the Rasengan with the element of wind, he uses it to turn the spinning ball into a spinning blade. This baby can trap you in a vortex of wind so sharp, it'll mess you up at a cellular level.
Naruto has plenty of other techniques up his orange sleeves, including summoning, substitution, and transformation jutsus. He can even transform into a naked woman.
Ho 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 ho! Looks
Flawless.
like he's been studying. I guess that's one plus side to not having parents. You don't need to worry about anyone walking in on you.
While most individuals have chakra, everyone has a limit. The more physical and spiritual energy one possesses, the more chakra they'll have at their disposal.
Just like the gas tank from a chainsaw.
Thanks
What?
to his heritage, Naruto already has a great deal of chakra. Even still, he has far more than he reasonably should, all thanks to the beast within.
Yeah, he's got a monster in his stomach.
Let's backtrack a few years. On the day of Naruto's birth, his village was attacked by a chakra beast known as the Nine-Tailed Fox. A monster so destructive, a mere swing of its tails could level a mountain. In desperation, the Hokage at the time sacrificed himself to split the Nine Tails in two, sealing one half within his own son, Naruto.
So his first ever birthday gift to his son was a giant pet fox that can destroy cities? I wish he was my dad.
Eventually, Naruto discovered how to communicate with the Nine Tails.
They didn't get along at first. Foxy would threaten to eat Naruto, Naruto would whack him over the head with a big shrine gate, you know, typical roommate drama. Still, they eventually became friends, and Naruto learned the fox's name was Kurama.
Afterward, Kurama willingly shared his chakra with Naruto on a regular basis. And as a being composed of chakra, Kurama's reserves are gigantic.
With so much power at his fingertips, Naruto can enter a bunch of different super forms. First up is Sage Mode, which sounds like something he'd learned from an old wise man or wizard, right? Nope, he learned it from a frog.
This state increases all of Naruto's physical abilities. Furthermore, Sage Mode allows Naruto to perceive the entire area around him and tap into naturally occurring energy via Senjutsu.
He can enhance his chakra attacks by adding natural energy, but if he's not careful, he'll turn into a frog. No, I'm not kidding.
With Kurama's chakra, Naruto can enter multiple tailed beast forms, which drastically increases physical prowess and energy output.
Best of which is the Nine Tails Chakra Mode. Flame on! It got even better when he befriended Mr. Fox, upgrading to the stronger, faster, tougher Kurama Chakra Mode.
Chakra Mode grants Naruto extra protection, a sense for negative emotions, and the ability to create additional chakra arms.
Whoa, that's a lot of hands. Gotta wonder what kind of things he does with those, right?
Overwhelming attacks, extra maneuverability, creating rocks and shurikens, the works.
Yeah, that's not what I was. Creepy tiny hand.
The mini Russian shuriken. This is such an interesting plot point. I think it was a missed opportunity because we haven't actually seen KCM2, the one with the cloak on the back. It went to Boruto chakra mode immediately. So a little bit of a missed opportunity in terms of footage being used, but I'll allow it.
He can also shroud himself in a Nine Tails sized
this one.
avatar and use Kurama's ultimate attack, the Tailed Beast Bomb. So destructive it can level a mountain range.
And for his final form, it's spoiler time. Pay attention, cause, yeah. All of this chakra stuff started with an alien named Kaguya, who ate a fruit which basically created chakra. Later, she got all murder happy, so her sons stopped her. One of these sons, the Sage of Six Paths, had his own son named Ashura, and Naruto is a reincarnation of him. So yeah, Naruto's kind of an alien.
Through this connection, Naruto was gifted the most divine form of energy, Six Paths Chakra. With it, he can enter Six Paths Sage Mode.
His strength gets boosted even more. He can fly, and he can use truth-seeking balls, which are orbs of chakra that can transform into weapons and destroy anything they touch.
He can
So the Six Paths Sage Mode is actually heavily debated, where the chakra the Sage of Six Paths gave him did effectively run out. So we have not seen him, even in the Battle of the End, about the final battle 2.0 versus him and Sasuke. He only had I think it was 3 Gododama left at the start of the fight, and the 3 of which he used to stop Sasuke's Susanoo's arrows. So it's actually, as far as I am aware, at least into Boruto, it's unknown if he can actually still pull out the Gododama or not. on one hand, you're like, well, this would be a passive intrinsic upgrade. But on the other hand, like Sasuke gets his Rinne Sharingan, but there's a little bit of contention regarding that. And also, like, the whole Indra Ashura plot point, like, a lot of people say it ruins Naruto. I tend to disagree because, as stated with their whole role reverse, our roles could have been reversed. Look, at the end of the day, you can have a mountain's worth of chakra, right? You could be literal Madoru Uchiha. But if you chose to do nothing with it or chose to just be, I don't know, some vagabond or Akatsuki, you're not utilizing your full potential, and you still do have that power of free choice to do as you will. Naruto could very easily, many times, have just given up. So, I mean, I write off that criticism personally. It could ruin the series for you. Valid. I get why it's frustrating. One of those that's just like, meh. A lot of people, because of how it was written, have an issue with the whole Madara Zetsu thing, and even some people have, pitched like, oh well, it's all just Sasuke and Naruto in their infinite Tsukuyomi.
Combine all these forms and further add natural energy to his Kurama avatar to form 6 Paths Ashura Kurama Sage Mode. Whew.
Good God, that's a confusing amount of forms. Anyway, Naruto is also an expert in hand-to-hand combat and could run faster than the eye could see when he was just 12 years old.
He's dodged a lightning speed punch from the 4th Raikage, a feat considered comparable to his father, who could teleport.
He even dodged this light-speed loogie.
According to the 4th...
Okay. This one, though, let's very specifically look at how this actually works out, though. So the reason why he's able to dodge this, because yes, the Sage Art Light Fang from Madara, sure, is the speed of light, right? Reasonably, though, as Naruto's sensory techniques, the sensory abilities have increased with Sage's 6 Paths Chakra, looking at this, he's going to be able to dodge this because he's going to sense it actually welling up. So it's not like, in the span of like, the speed of light happening, this going towards him as we see, on screen. It's more that he's already sensed it and is already going to be making moves to dodge this, right? Reasonably, it should not be expected in any way, shape, or form for Naruto to be able to dodge something that fast at the speed of light, especially because we can clearly see here in the image as well, we do see Madara actually start to, well up chakra. He's able to actually execute this ability, and thus Naruto would already be moving.
According to the 4th data book, this Light Fang attack does
Databooks are also technically non-canon.
indeed move at light speed, over 670 million miles per hour.
He's tough enough to survive getting stabbed, have his soul ripped out, or get smacked in the face with a beam that can slice the frickin' moon apart.
He's fought multiple tailed beasts at once, lifted a statue weighing several hundred tons, survived a fall from the clouds, gone toe-to-toe with invisible limbo shadows, and pulverized 6 falling meteorites simultaneously. His chakra is so tough he can power through Amaterasu, a fire jutsu with flames so strong they burn other flames.
He can even make new eyeballs for blind people. What's up with that? Oh, and in his final fight with rival and possibly closet boyfriend Sasuke, their opposing power was so great they obliterated miles upon miles of land, changing the weather and disintegrating a lake.
Only then, after defeating Sasuke, saving the world from Kaguya, and reuniting the split halves of Kurama, Naruto finally achieved his dream and became Hokage.
But he's still pretty dumb. I mean, he named his son Burrito.
Boruto.
Yeah, close enough.
Oh, Burrito.
Not gonna run away! I never go back on my word! That's my ninja! My ninja way!
I mean, yeah, it was a pretty good summary. The data books have been heavily criticized for some of the material within them, so you do have to question if they are giving you the correct information or not. Sure, it's an official source, but it's one of those where it's like, there's some disputed information in those. So as far as I'm aware, they're considered non-canon, all things considered. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good analysis of Naruto, and clearly we're going up to, I would argue, pre-Boruto era. So Sage's 6 Paths is where we're going to be stopping as well. Ichigo will probably be stopping. Trying to think around probably the Aizen fight at this point in time, but I could be wrong.
Shinigami. It may sound like a foreign word to some, but you all know what it is. the Death God, the Grim Reaper of Souls.
And a 17-year-old ginger with a badass sword.
Ichigo Kurosaki seemed like a pretty normal kid growing up, doing well in school and learning martial arts from his father. Except there was one little oddity. He could see ghosts.
Oh, it's like the kid from The Sixth Sense.
I see dead people.
One day when he was 9 years old and walking home with his mother, young Ichigo noticed what he thought was a girl about to fall into a river.
So naturally, he ran over to rescue her like the brave little kid he was.
Except it wasn't really a girl at all. It was a hollow, a monster spawned from an abandoned human soul, and it promptly killed his mother.
Bummer. Reminds me of how I lost my poor mama Boomstick. Oh, she always hated that ghost in the barn.
Right. Well, Ichigo remained ignorant of the truth until years later, when he met a woman named Rukia, who held the illustrious job title of Shinigami, or Soul Reaper, a guardian of the dead who keeps balance in the universe by helping those who have passed move on to the afterlife. Otherwise, they'd turn into violent hollows.
And if you show up late to work and it doesn't work out, the Soul Reaper can always cut hollows down with their awesome swords, like samurai ghostbusters. Anyway, the two of them got into a bind, and Rukia had to share some of her power with Ichigo. Turns out, he was a surprise Soul Reaper all along. Convenient.
When accessing his Shinigami power, Ichigo leaves his physical body for a new one made up of Reishi, or spiritual matter, which makes him invisible to anyone in the living world, despite still being physically present.
And his new powers make him super deadly. He can move with blinding speed, cut through giant monsters with ease, survive being punched through whole city blocks, and even fly through the air.
It's more accurate to say he walks through the air, using naturally occurring reishi as footholds.
But let's get to the dicey part of his getup, that awesome sword. It's a Zanpakuto, a blade connected to its owner's soul. It may look like an oversized steak knife, but it's a Soul Reaper's best friend.
Every Shinigami possesses a Zanpakuto spirit within themselves, which manifests as their sword. Ichigo's is called Zangetsu. Well,
I actually don't know. Yeah, I don't know enough about this, if I'm being completely honest. I don't know the entire Quincy. My knowledge on Bleach stops about Wako Mundo. It's actually why I've been itching to play more of the new Bleach game, which has some issues on PC. There's definitely some cutscenes people have run into where it will just it's crashed the game for me a few times, so I'm having to skip some cutscenes. But yeah, I didn't know this was the whole Yuhak. I didn't know that was that entire plot point. It's going to be wild diving into this series again.
Both of them are.
Oh, here we go. Strap in, because this shit's about to get crazy.
Ichigo actually has two different Zanpakuto spirits drawn from his weird and confusing heritage.
Alright, so long story short, Ichigo's a Soul Reaper because his dad is too. But he's also part Quincy, which is a human with reishi powers, because that's what his mom was. But he's also part Hollow, because his mom was possessed by a Hollow called White, and White got passed on to him when he was born. Oh, and he's also part Fullbringer, but nobody cares about Fullbringers.
I completely forgot Fullbringers were even a plot point. I literally don't remember them. Yeah, Ichigo is very much the cocktail of super special awesome, and it's been a criticism about the series.
One of Ichigo's inner spirits is a manifestation of his Quincy side inherited from his mother, while the other is a fusion of his Shinigami power and the Hollow. Unfortunately, Shinigami and Quincy go together like oil and water.
While trying to find a balance between these two sides, Ichigo learned plenty of neat techniques, like his bread and butter attack, the Getsuga Tensho.
By concentrating his Reiatsu, or spiritual pressure, through his sword, Ichigo can launch a massive slashing attack.
Call it like it is, Wiz. It's a sword beam, and Ichigo can charge it up, fire from up close, or even blast two of them at once.
From his Quincy side, Ichigo has used Blut Vina, a temporary defense which grants inhuman durability. From his Shinigami training, he developed exceptional sword skills and learned Shunpo, or Flash Step, which greatly enhances his speed.
But there's one really big deal we haven't talked about yet.
Over the course of his career battling hollows and protecting his friends, Ichigo has attained many different superpowered forms, starting with the base Shinigami form, Shikai. Despite essentially being Ichigo's base, this form is strong enough to block an attack from the Sokyoku, said to have power equal to 1 million Zanpakuto.
The next step was Bankai. Normally it takes 10 years to reach this form, but Ichigo did it in just 2 days, like a boss.
When using Bankai, one's power can grow anywhere from 5 to 10 times greater. And according to the official databook, while in Bankai, Ichigo moves like lightning.
Wait, why does his sword shrink when he goes Bankai? Shouldn't it be bigger since he's stronger?
Technically, yes, but Ichigo can control its size to keep it more manageable. If Shinigami couldn't minimize their blades, some would have swords the size of skyscrapers.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This was a plot point where it's a direct. It's being able to. Words, brain. Oh my god, I'm here. I promise I'm here. Yeah, it's a direct understanding on. I don't know where direct came from. I'm so sorry. I'm struggling today. I'm so sorry. Yes, it's more. It's supposed to be more control. It's a direct link to the concept of more control and finesse.
Anyway, the Hollow inside wanted a piece of the action too, so Ichigo gained a new power boost with a swoopy Hollow mask. This form is strong enough to lift 5 iron pillars, each weighing nearly 100 tons.
Though if he's not careful, the Hollow can take control of his body, sending him into a violent berserker state commonly referred to as Vastolorde. Despite the lack of consciousness, Vastolorde Ichigo could heal quickly and was strong enough to overcome Ukiura, who's powerful enough to nuke a city.
After some quality training with his dad, Ichigo got a sort of second Bankai, which most people call Dangai Ichigo. In this form, he shattered mountains without even trying. He broke through the Black Coffin attack, which distorts time and space, which sounds like a black hole. Right after that, he survived a shot so friggin' big, the explosion could be seen for miles.
By comparing this crater to those left by real-life bomb tests, I'd estimate the attack to have a maximum explosive yield of 814 kilotons of TNT. That's like Ichigo surviving 54 little boys to the face. No. I meant the bomb from 1945. Oh, God.
The fact that's where my brain went to first. Let's be real.
Well, try as those little boys might, all it did to Ichigo was burn his arm. And he didn't even care. This guy isn't the type to give up.
For his ultimate attack, Dangai Ichigo literally becomes the Getsuga Tensho itself. I know that's confusing, but just roll with it. To summon the incredibly powerful Mugetsu.
Which busted up one of the biggest baddies in the whole series. But it also sacrificed all of Ichigo's powers. Well, that's a raw deal, but 17 months later he managed to get them back with Fullbringer powers, which enhanced his physical abilities. But then he lost those too.
It's worth noting that while in Fullbring Shikai, his normal sword swings were as strong as his old Getsuga Tensho.
Yeah, my knowledge stops at the Aizen fights. This is all new information to me. This is wild.
But he still didn't give up. After training with some top-tier Soul Reapers and eating some food which gave him Super Reiatsu, the moment came. In the most epic quenching of all time, an entire sea disintegrated to form his new true Shikai, complete with not one, but 2 Zangetsu swords.
Interesting.
Finally balancing the Shinigami, the Hollow, and the Quincy within, Ichigo had reached his full potential. He tamed his Vastolorde form, merging it with his Quincy side. In this form, he can combine his Getsuga Tensho with one of the strongest Hollow attacks, the Gran Rei Sero.
He also made a trip that normally takes a week in only 9 hours and 15 minutes.
And last but not least, he achieved a brand new level of Bankai.
Which was immediately crushed by some old dude who planned to destroy the universe named Ewok?
It's probably inspired by the Hebrew name for God, Yahweh, and the katakana ends with a sharp k sound, so Yowok?
I'm sorry. What do you mean it ends with a ka sound? Yeah. So you elongated you, haba. I don't know. It's so strange because that's going to be a Su, right? Tiny Su that's going to have the what you see as the double H. I don't read that as having a ka at the end of that, but I'm also very rusty. I don't know. The pronunciation is left ambiguous to me.
Yowok?
Yeah, what you gonna do? Well, we can assume this Bankai worked similar to his old ones. increasing his physical speed and strength along with his Ryatsu tenfold. Even without his Bankai, he still cut Mustache Man to shreds.
And then he lived happily ever after. Until his kid became a Soul Reaper.
Yeah, what'd he name him? Bitchigo?
What? No, it's Kazui.
I might have got it mixed up with the other enchilada kid or whatever.
Close enough.
Now I'm Ichigo Kurosaki, substitute Soul Reaper. And I'm combining my powerful spirit energy with this blade in order to protect my friends!
I honestly forgot that Danny Young Bosch did the voice of Ichigo because I was playing through the game and I'm like, this sounds very Lelouch like. I love that man's voice acting. That man is, I adore his work. His work is fantastic.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
But first, did you know that Naruto and Ichigo are named after food?
Yeah.
Maybe you can find them in your next punch from Blue Apron.
I like that ad read. It was very minimalistic. I liked it. I have had ramen though. I've had a couple of their other things as well. Because I think there's Naruto short. I can't remember the couple of the other ones. Naruto is a very specific fish cake.
Grandpappy Boomstick always said that nothing in life is better than good food and making something with your own two hands. And Blue Apron is both those things combined.
Blue Apron is the #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country. All ingredients arrive right to your door, guaranteed fresh and ready to cook.
It's better than eating fast food, plus it's affordable. Blue Apron is less than $10 per person per meal.
Choose from a variety of recipes and get the meals that sound good to you. The ingredients are perfectly proportioned and the instructions are easy to follow. I mean, even Boomstick can do it.
Hey, watch it or you're not getting any of the next meal I make when it arrives.
Well, then I'll make the crispy wild Alaskan pollock and garlic mashed potatoes with roasted broccoli and tartar sauce myself. And if you're worried about variety, don't bother. Recipes are not repeated within the year, so you'll never get bored.
The salt
Check
bag.
out this week's menu and get $30 off your first order with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/battle.
You'll love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron, so don't wait.
That's blueapron.com/battle.
Blue Apron, a better way to cook. But right now, it's time for a death battle!
Now I'm hungry. That was a good ad read. I liked it. All right, what do we got?
What's that energy? Is that a hollow?
Naruto, I sense a presence. Naruto, wake up.
Whoa, he's invisible!
You can't see me? Good.
Quit running, coward!
Naruto, keep moving. I'll direct you.
You're dead!
Hell the heck?
Makes
I
sense.
see you.
Bring it on! Ketsuya!
Really?
Yo, not bad, but I'm still gonna beat your ass. Give me a freaking break. Is that the best you can do?
Is this going to come down to an actual Mugetsu losing his powers moment to be the deciding factor?
You bastard!
I don't know if I agree with that.
Who was that guy?
KO! Damn, even without his powers, Ichigo never gave up. What a...
I don't know if I agree with that. So, in base, right? Like, we're talking Shippuden Naruto. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt later Shippuden Naruto, right? Because clearly we have, access, hand wavy, sure, you have access to, 6 paths, whatever, right? Like, Ichigo really started off really heavy, and he escalated really quickly. Naruto can take a lot of punishment, but he still takes punishment, right? During the whole Kakuzu fight, especially, this was lower powered Shippuden, right? But the whole Kakuzu fight, he did end up falling face first, right? And Kakashi was the one who actually had to finish off Kakuzu. Objectively, I think while Ninja can also move really fast, I don't think that they're going to be faster than adept Shunpo practitioners and masters in Bleach. I think at base, Bleach's movement tech is just too fast, thus leading into what Naruto, in my opinion, it has a strength of, where it has a strength in making you think about things, right? Like, how is this going to affect Obito, 6 Paths Obito, where, Naruto ends up having a Rasen Shuriken and Sasuke has to match his Amaterasu output with the Rasen Shuriken, uses the Sharingan to help gauge the output. Thus, they're able to hit Obito and damage him because it's also imbued with the Sage Chakra Senjutsu. Naruto does a lot of that mental battle really well, and so I did like the fact that he had to hide in the trees. I really like that because that does play to the strengths of it, and thus, having kind of a decoy substitution jutsu, then being able to Adama Rasengan barrage him. I think that made a lot of sense. I don't think Ichigo's decision to go Bankai 2, Mugetsu Boogaloo, I don't think that decision made enough sense. Naruto does have a heavy healing factor, but in my opinion, mostly in the confines of the Naruto verse. He is still subject to things such as being frozen, right? We see that with Kaguya. I think that even as big a Naruto fanboy as I am, I think I have to hand it to Ichigo in this one, because I think if we're being fair about it, I think that Bleach just has a higher base level. Sure, we can argue things, Madara, Aizen, depending on movement tech. Madara is also pretty fast as well. Especially when we start dealing with the mental games and stuff. Like, I feel that Bleach, from what I've seen, and I could be wrong on this, does a little bit less of the mental games, right? Where Naruto kind of leans into it a little more. I would have to really go in and see what their equivalent to Genjutsu is. Naruto also, from my understanding, he doesn't have the same healing factor as someone like 6 Paths Madara, where 6 Paths Madara was almost taken out by Might Guy. So, half his body, it was like half his body was taken out by Night Guy, right? I think that there's a higher healing factor in Bleach. So, I don't think I agree with the outcome on this personally.
Badass.
Sorry, Bleach fans. I know you all really wanted to win, but unfortunately, this wasn't it.
What's the logic?
Naruto had better training, a broader arsenal, and a better healing factor. And Ichigo's invisible ghost body didn't really matter.
Shinigami may be invisible, but they're still present in the physical realm and can be touched by normal people. Kurama can locate individuals by simply sensing their emotions, and Naruto's even seen his own soul before.
And with 6 Paths power, he could see and fight Madara's Limbo clones, even though they were on a totally separate plane of existence.
Also keep in mind that while chakra and reishi have fairly different uses, they both contain spiritual energy.
Yeah.
Let's talk speed. Naruto can dodge light speed attacks and can move faster than lightning. A lightning
I'm fine with the lightning thing. I don't agree with him moving faster than the speed of light. I don't agree with it. But I call that a subjective disagreement with me, and I disagree with most of the Naruto community on that being a feat, if I'm being completely honest. We broke that down earlier. To be fair, when we're talking about Naruto being able to touch limbo clones, being able to, reishi versus chakras applications, we are making concessions reasonably for them to fight each other. Like, that's kind of how the fight takes place to begin with.
bolt's return stroke is 220 million miles per hour, about 1/3 the speed of light. Ichigo has also displayed lightning-fast speeds, and even greater.
Near the end of the series, Ichigo took a trip that should have taken 7 days, but instead took 9 hours and 15 minutes.
It's likely Kirigi here was referencing his accomplice's speed, like Ichibei, who can knock his foes 2,440 miles away and appear next to him in a second. Yuachi guy beat him by going twice as fast, so we'll use that as Ichibei's limit.
With that, we can get the trip's total distance and conclude Ichigo's top speed is 319 million miles per hour. That's massively hypersonic, but not quite light speed.
Still, there's a difference between travel speed and reaction speed, as Naruto's already shown. Comparing them directly, Ichigo's best reaction should clock in at around 970 million miles per hour, 40% faster than light speed and Naruto's reaction time. Alright, point for Ichigo.
Speed alone wasn't enough, though, especially since Naruto's Sage powers gave him superb field awareness, making it difficult for Ichigo to land a fatal blow.
If he could even land something fatal at all.
Ichigo has always had a tough time damaging foes who have stronger spiritual energy than him. With that said, let's compare his Ryatsu to Naruto's chakra.
Bad news is, across both of them, the only multiplier we know for sure is Ichigo's times 10 Bankai. The times 10 is difficult to achieve, but for Ichigo's sake, let's assume he gets the maximum possible boost from every transformation.
His other forms likely don't boost his stats this much. For example, when he used his Hollow Mask to barely overpower an Arrancar, the situation and its results were similar to his then comparable Shinigami friends releasing their limiters, which gave each of them a boost of times 5. However, let's give the benefit of the doubt and apply the maximum times 10 increase to all of Ichigo's forms that clearly increased his fighting potential, as well as stack them even though many forms were in separate unconnected power sets.
For the sake of argument, we're deliberately overestimating Ichigo's power. You'll see why.
So here's our formula, but where do we start? Okay, Bankai Ichigo with his Hollow Mask was on par with Ukiyora's first transformation, correct?
Well, nearly.
Ukiyora states his new form can destroy the city of Las Noches in the hollow world of Hueco Mundo.
What's that, like Mexican hell?
Well, there is a wall. Las Noches is square in shape and takes 3 days to walk from one corner to a gate in the center of the wall. So it has a total area of 200,000 square miles.
That's bigger than California, and destroying it in one go needs over 400,000 megatons of TNT.
So plug that into the formula and there you have it. Ichigo's Ryatsu is equal to over 440 billion megatons of TNT.
Thankfully, Naruto's chakra level is much easier to figure out.
His chakra was once extracted and burst a hole through the hollow moon. He survived the explosion, and it was explicitly said that this was nearly all of his chakra.
Most of his chakra has been siphoned off.
By measuring the aftermath from both sides, we found the blast to equal at least 480 billion megatons of TNT, 40 billion more than Ichigo.
And don't forget, we were deliberately overestimating him.
Also, this was base form Naruto, not including any increases from additional modes, which allowed him to block an attack that cut the moon in half, a force that had to be over 27 trillion megatons. This proves Naruto can both output and survive a blast stronger than Ichigo is capable of.
If you're thinking, wait, Boomstick, Ichigo survived a black hole in a box. That move doesn't really work like a black hole.
Plus, the 814 kiloton Frager blast did hurt him immediately after, so it must have been weaker than that.
But Wiz, weren't Kaguya and Waka Waka planet busters? Don't they scale to them?
Nope. Kaguya's planet-busting attack required chakra from nearly the entire Earth's population, not just her own. And while Yuok's power was pretty OP, he couldn't destroy the world through his own destructive capability. He only planned to manipulate the delicate balance between life and death by stopping the flow of souls. Like a plate spinning on a stick, if one side gets too heavy, the whole thing comes crashing down.
To sum it up, Ichigo had the speed, they both had the guts, and Naruto had the strength, durability, training, and abilities for days. Naruto sure got the Shounen jump on Ichigo.
The winner is Naruto Uzumaki. Stick around, we're about to announce the combatants for the next death battle.
And if you want to watch exclusive commentary on this episode, click that little box over there and start a first membership trial.
You should try to grab one of these shirts too.
I can see the logic. I think that, and obviously there's going to need to be shortcuts and concessions made. Let's be real. There's going to need to be concessions made to, you know, go through all the forms, etc. throughout a fight, right? I get it. It's such a hard thing to scale, though, because, sure, anime, right? But the movement tech and the systems are just different enough that I feel like it makes it a little awkward. Now, if we had, like, Ichigo versus, like, Madara coming out on top, sure, I could see. Versus Obito? I feel like Obito is just a lot slower, though. I mean, really, he does kind of rely on Kamui. It's kind of the core of his fighting style. And especially with, you know, the instantaneous movement, right? Especially because with a single Sharingan, Kamui does have a charge-up time, right? You have to channel it effectively. Brief as it might be, that would allow an experienced Soul Reaper to come in and just, you know, I'd deliver a fatal blow, right? So Naruto's kind of a weird... I mean, they're both kind of examples of, like, super special awesome to the max, squared even, because Ichigo's got a lot going on, Naruto's got a lot going on. I like that the truth-seeking orbs didn't come up because it hasn't really been confirmed if he does have it or not, as far as I'm aware in Boruto, like I've said. Sure, touching Madara's shadow clones is just reasonably we can make sure to touch Soul Reapers and Reishi. I think that when we start talking, I think really the deciding factor comes down to the canonicity of can Naruto move at the speed of light or not. And I don't like the physical repercussions and ramifications of doing that alone are kind of ludicrous, right? Like G-forces and stuff. Like, I mean, just I don't know. I don't know if I agree with the result. I can see the logic. I think that there was definitely some good research done here. I think it's personal bias, but even then, personal bias coming from somebody who has everything riding on, say, the Narutoverse to win versus having, you know, like Ichigo win, right? I think that I would definitely, in my subjective opinion, think Ichigo wins, and it's really hard to gauge Mugetsu, but I digress. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? Did you enjoy this? Did you find this enlightening with extra commentary? Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. See you in the next one.